The news that everyone is talking about right now is Hurricane Hilary heading towards Southern California. But how does that change our weather, the change in the weather rather, affect your produce? Your produce man, Michael Marks, is here with more, hanging out with Tina at the Zothex Kitchen.
Zothex. There we go. Michael is here, yes. You're not at a farmer's market, you're here today.
Yes, I am. Well, let's first talk about the heat that we've had. So let's first talk about that. The heat chases sugar out of the Bartlett pear back into the tree.
How rude.
Yeah, I know. The tree wants to survive, right? So that's why
they're competing.
That's why it does that, and so that's why farmers down in the Delta, they have to check the sugar content of the Bartlett pears at all hours that they're harvesting to make sure there's a certain amount of sugar content. Because when it goes below, they can't sell it to the fresh market.
Do they have certain instruments to do that, or do they just take a bite?
Oh, well, they can take a bite, but they do have a certain instrument. It's called a refractometer. Also, we end up with calcium deficiencies. Can you imagine that?
Oh my goodness.
An apple getting calcium deficiencies because of the heat. You end up with all these little brown spots on the apple. You don't know it.
Oh, I see. One right here?
Well, no, that's a bruise. That's a bruise. Sorry about that. So it can have an impact. So this heat, and also the pack outs. You don't know what pack outs are.
No.
If an acre of tomatoes supposedly is supposed to get 1,000 cartons of tomatoes, because of the heat, they're only getting 500 cartons of tomatoes. So it's a 50% pack out. The pack outs have been horrible.
So that means it's more expensive for us at the stores.
Yes. So that's the heat.
Rude.
So let's talk about this this storm coming up. Oh my goodness, San Diego. Of course, you have all kinds of avocados there right now. They're heavy because they're fully ripe, they're fully mature, and they're heavy.
Okay.
You have 80-mile-an-hour winds on those avocado trees. Guess what happens?
They all fall off.
Yes, they fall out, and once they fall to the ground, they can't sell them to the fresh market.
No.
Also, tomatoes in Oceanside. Oceanside is probably one of the most famous tomato growing regions here in California.
I had no idea. Okay.
Very, very important, just north of San Diego. And when you've never heard of an insect called piercers or suckers, have you?
No.
That's a term.
I thought those were people's names.
No, that's a terminology, the type of insects they are. They pierce the plant and they suck out juice, right?
Oh.
Well, what does that do when you have heat and you have rain like we have?
Tomatoes go to mush.
You end up with disease.
Oh.
The insects actually transplant disease from one plant to another. So this can have a huge impact. California is the best agricultural region. Why? Because we don't have rain when we're not supposed to get rain, and we have rain when we're supposed to get rain. This is why the Midwest can't grow melons like we do. This is why the Midwest can't grow tomatoes like we do, because they get rain in the summertime.
So now this
plant disease, that's going to be the big thing. Also grapes, just south of San Diego. These are all going to be all of our grapes for October, November, and into December. And when you end up with rain inside these clusters, guess what creates the rain and heat creates mold.
Oh.
Mold. So it's going to be a huge impact.
So basically you're saying the storm is rude and too much heat is rude.
Yes, it's very rude.
Great. Okay. Michael, what are you going to talk about next?
In the next hour, the 3 R's. Parents got to get back to the 3 R's, just like your kids are.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Michael Marks, your produce man. Ash, back to you.